In today's episode, new diversity hire manager wanted my dad gone. Oops. Guy from work tried to undermine me, but I quit a week ago. So you need a certified copy of my bachelor degree that you just issued? No problemo. So let's get started. New diversity hire manager wanted my dad gone. Oops. This is my old man's story from around 8 years ago. I've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of this subreddit, so I thought I'd share. My dad X was a first-generation Asian immigrant with a PhD, who had been working as a senior engineer for a Shell refinery for almost 2 decades. Dad didn't socialize much with his other co-workers, partially because he had a 2-hour round-trip commute, and partially because he just didn't share many of the same cultural touchstones as them, being an immigrant. Still, he was highly respected by his co-workers because he was damn good at his work. Being the stereotypical Asian math whiz, he even came up with his own, extremely complicated, resource allocation algorithm that generated significant efficiency improvements for their refinery. Let's call this the X algorithm. You have to understand, this was a major multi-billion-dollar refinery, so he was now literally saving the refinery millions every year. If he was a more entrepreneurial sort, he probably would have negotiated and gotten either lifetime royalties or promoted into management track, but he was happy with just a rink-a-dink plaque plus his X algorithm making his work much easier for him. He was at the company for 19 years. Over the course of these 19 years, most of his managers either retired or were promoted into senior management outside his orbit, but each time they'd tell the new replacement, hey, don't F***CK with X. He's a good dude and saves the company a ton of money. Dad didn't play the schmoozing game, so he stayed as a senior engineer and never made it into management track, but he was alright with that. Unfortunately, during the 19th year, there was a 3-month gap between the last manager leaving and the new manager arriving. This time, the message wasn't conveyed. The new manager was, for lack of a better term, a diversity hire. Unlike the previous supervisors my dad had, she was in her early mid-20s, fresh out of college with just a bachelor's in management and zero engineering background. She was now supposed to manage a team of mostly PhDs with decades of experience in the field. To be fair, that probably wasn't easy for her either. She had the typical liberal arts college attitude of always knowing better than you, and hell, I say that as a liberal arts major, and there was immediately friction between her and my dad. She probably just wanted to demonstrate her authority, being new, and my dad seemed like an easy target, being the old guy in the department who never hanged out with anyone. It all came to a head one day when she very publicly called him out on some calculations she claimed he got wrong, and offered rather smugly to teach him the math behind it. Oh hell no. Asians in particular tend to care a great deal about face and respect, especially for your elders. Here was this 20-something business management bachelor's with no experience trying to publicly embarrass him, an Asian man in his 60s, and say that she was going to teach him math? Yeah, no. My dad quite brusquely demonstrated that his calculations were in fact correct, and then started doing something I really wouldn't recommend. He seized every opportunity to publicly call her out and embarrass her when she got her stuff wrong, which was quite often. Things got bad. Real bad. The new manager wasn't going to take this lying down, so every week she tried to seize any excuse to write my dad up for purported mistakes or infractions. This went on for a full year. He had gotten an outstanding rating on every annual report since 1995. The new manager tried to give him a not adequate rating on the 2014 one, and basically threatened to fire him, 1 year short of his 20-year retirement with pension, unless he wrote a self-critique and came up with a self-improvement plan. That was the absolute last straw. My old man had lived through the Cultural Revolution in China, which was all about stupid teenagers and college kids harassing and humiliating their elders and making them write self-confessions and self-criticisms. He wasn't going to put up with this shit, so he said F***CK it and gave HR his 1 month's notice. You want me gone? I'm gone. F***CK you and your pension. The first day, all was quiet. The next day, all hell broke loose. While none of us were there, this is how we imagined things went down. New manager, X has decided to quit instead of improve his performance. Senior management, oh okay. Wait, so who is going to run the X algorithm? New manager, X algorithm? Senior management, OFCK OFCK OF asterisk CK. Senior management basically realized that no one besides him even knew how it worked, much less would be able to maintain or operate it. He had created it all from scratch. Once Dad was gone, the algorithm would be gone with it, along with the millions in efficiency savings each year. The head of HR and a VP-level exec immediately scheduled a conference with him and the new supervisor, and the company caved all the way. Dad no longer had to report to the new manager, his annual report was changed to outstanding, and he now reported directly to the VP. His job also changed. His only responsibility for the next year, until his retirement date, was to spend a few months in training his replacement on the usage and maintenance of the algorithm. Once his replacement was fully trained, he had no other responsibilities. He could just sit at home and collect his paycheck until his retirement date came. I'd love to say that the new hire was punished for that year of hell, but that probably wasn't the case. I also wish that Pops would have demanded more for the future usage of the algorithm, but that year of constant fighting had banged him up mentally as well. Addendum 1. I absolutely agree that the old man could have handled it better as well. My mom and I told him as much at the time. It's almost never beneficial to be going to war with your boss, but he was just too old and ornery to put up with any levels of shit at all, especially from someone who objectively knew much less than him. Addendum 2. A number of people seem to be triggered by my usage of the term diversity hire. I apologize if that felt offensive, but quite frankly, that's the shortest and most accurate way to describe her, an early 20s fresh out of college with no work experience or engineering experience, who was assigned to manage PhD engineers with 20 to 30 years of experience. Shell is a huge multinational. My old man had worked for all sorts of bosses across all ethnicities and genders, all of whom had significant experience in the field. They weren't diversity hires, but she really was. My old man's a first-gen Asian immigrant. He didn't give a damn who people were, just that they knew WTF they were doing. That said, I'll go ahead and change most mentions to new manager. Doesn't really change the thrust of the story, and if it makes a few people feel better, sure, why not? Smiley face. Guy from work tried to undermine me, but I quit a week ago. This happened only a month ago, so the memory of the incident is fresh. I got accepted into college and had to quit my job of 2 years. I put up my resignation papers and had 2 months of notice period left. I had informed my manager and team, but didn't account for Mr. S, who was technically on my team, but worked from the client offices overseas, so I don't get to see him ever. Background on Mr. S: he was hired as a mediator between the client and us, but had years of technical experience, so he often helped us out with the technical work, but was always a snob about it. He made sure to CC every possible manager in every mail to show that he was doing a lot more than his role was required to do. Everyone hated how commanding and rude he was. Most meetings with him were just the entire team listening to him be *tch and moan for 20 minutes. He had no boundaries, and would call up at odd hours of the night just to prove his point. He would promise clients certain results with unreasonable timelines without consulting the team, leading to late delivery and terrible client ratings. Since I had 2 months left to go at work, I wasn't quick to give up responsibilities and transfer knowledge to my colleagues. I handled an important client-facing task, and I've been doing it for the 2 years I worked there. I never taught it to anyone else cause it was a relatively easy task, and it hasn't been screwed up in 2 years. We get info from the client that my task was undergoing major upgrades and needed to be done extra carefully and on priority for the next week. I know the drill and get to work as usual. Mr. S calls me up on Skype to re-emphasize the importance of the task this week. I just reply to him that I've been following all protocols every week and will continue the same as usual, being careful of the upgrades. He considers my answer as unprofessional and inconsiderate and proceeds to tell me how I'm not that important to the team and my job was easily replaceable. He then cut the call and proceeded to reassign all my tasks for the next 2 months to someone else, while also formally emailing everybody that no new tasks were to be assigned to me. There I sat, maliciously complying, watching my teammates struggle to run my task, unable to help. I sat around doing nothing for the last 2 months of my job. Luckily, I was working from home, so that meant 2 months of paid leave. So you need a certified copy of my bachelor degree that you just issued? No problemo. So, this is a little one, but it still fulfilled me with satisfaction. During my last semester of my bachelor degree, I already applied for the master's degree at the same university. So I go through the normal application process and get accepted, yay, but as I didn't have my bachelor degree at that point, I had to produce a certified copy of my degree as soon as I could. Yes, I had to give a certified copy of my bachelor's degree to the university who issued that degree in the first place. And no, these were not different departments. It was all done by one lady in the examination office. But whatever, weird bureaucracy is weird. And boy was it annoying at that university. Because all students of my faculty had to got through one lady. And I think she just hated to do anything. Like, seriously, she was so annoyed when you showed up at her office to just do anything. When I turned in my bachelor thesis, she straight up said that she is so king annoyed that all the students turned their thesis in at her office. Well, we don't have another choice. There is seriously not other way to turn your thesis in. And don't ever think about asking her anything. So, I am already looking forward to picking up my bachelor's degree. No, we don't have a fancy celebration. Normally you would get an email when your degree is ready, but as king hates our guts, you just have to guess when it is ready. We don't get an email. 2 weeks after your last grade is put in the system, it is probably ready. So, I did just that. I show up at her office and my degree is ready. Lady, here. Without even looking at me. Me, thank you, I need a certified copy of that. Lady, really annoyed, excuse me, what? Me, I need a certified copy. Could you please copy it and certify that it is a copy of the original? Lady, I know what a certified copy is. You can get that at the town hall. Me, I know, but I can also get it here. I know for a fact that you have to give me one if I request it. 5-second staring contest ensues. Lady, sigh fine. She takes my degree back, turns around, copies it and signs that it is a certified copy. Lady, hands me the degree in copy, here. Me, thank you. Now I would like to give you a certified copy of my bachelor degree for my application for the master's degree. I hand her back the certified copy. Lady, are you serious? Me, yes, I thought if I am already here, I could turn that in as well. So I don't have to come back again. Another 5-second staring contest. Lady just takes the copy out of my hand and turns around. And with that, I left with the biggest grin on my face. What did she expect? That I got to the town hall, 15-minute ride, wait there for probably 1 to 2 hours, get a certified copy that would cost me €13, at uni one was for free, and then come back another day? Hell no. Especially because she had the weirdest office hours ever. It was something like 2 days a week for 5 hours in the morning and 1 day for 5 hours in the afternoon. So I probably would have waited days to turn that in. But her face when I asked for a certified copy was just glorious. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.